What's happening, everybody?
Howdy.
Buenos dias.
Starting off right, huh, Jay?
Oh, you know it. Well, with the movie I'm watching, it could be, what in the wide world of sports is going on here?
Somebody's going to have to go back and get a shitload of dimes.
Yeah. I'm trying to get a little track laid, and y'all jump around like a bunch of Kansas City. You know.
Oh, damn.
Mm-hmm.
Just damn. Oh, so we see our title for tonight for Texas, of course.
Deep in the heart of Texas.
Well, I mean, a state that has some cojones.
Steers and...
Be careful now.
Cojones.
Oh, shit. I noticed me and Saxman were talking about this earlier, Jay, and I'll ask, me and you may have spoke about it earlier too, how the media seems to be downplaying the whole Texas situation now. You're not hearing about it as much. Have you noticed that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's liberal media. They don't want you to see what's going on over there. Pretty soon, there won't even be a trickle of what's going on down there until they have like a bunch of feds or somebody that goes in and tries to forcefully remove them, and then the cameras will go black, and then the real story will be Texas, National Guard doing what needs to be done.
Yeah.
So, because, hey, maybe it's time for them to secede. I mean, that would be great. Then I wonder how many states would go along with that.
Well, this is true, but I thought there was something put in the Constitution about secession.
Well, I mean, liberals bypass the Constitution on many things, so I think we could kind of overlook that one.
Saxman, what's your thoughts?
So, pretty much the same. You're not going to hear as much about it until they can pull out some sort of federal win or there's blood drawn.
Okay.
And that's it. Other than that, you'll hear it on local stations, absolutely. But it will die back on the national scene again, unless they can, they're coming up with a bipartisan bill on this, right? Well, he didn't have a bipartisan bill to fuck it up 2 years ago. So when, your president gets up there and says, I can't do nothing about it until people give me power to do it. You had power. You had a pen, just like Obama said. I got a pen. So,
well, here's the thing. We don't need fucking legislation. We need you to enforce the fucking laws on the books. That's what they're there for.
Yeah, it's just like gun laws. There are already laws that say bad guys can't have guns. And so what do?
Murder is against the law. I mean, go figure,
Yeah, murder is bad and you shouldn't do it. Now, what we're going to do, though, is we're going to put up these big zones around schools and hospitals and, places where a lot of people congregate and say it's a no gun zone. So there you go. Knock yourself out.
Mm-hmm.
With a big stick.
My favorite is when you go wandering into a bank, at least my bank in particular. It's got a patchwork of stickers on the lower pane of the glass when you walk into the little lobby. Because it's not even a lobby. It's like you got a door, you walk in, and you walk into another door. I guess it's so they can get a good picture of you in case you're going to rob it.
Mm.
At the bottom, of course, one of them is a handgun or a knife. And I'm thinking, okay, where I happen to be, we've got constitutional carry. So I'm not really sure how effective that is. And B, it's not a law. The best you can do is ask me to leave.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like kick rocks. I'd rather have my sidearm on me. So if some fucktard comes in there trying to go all, whatever, I at least have a chance. I don't want to give, totally put my life in the hands of some fucktard trying to rob somebody. I'm not wired that way, Just my 2 cents.
Yeah, I'm not putting my life in the hands of some middle-aged obese women that don't, that would, hand over everything in your account just to, get rid of the guy,
Right.
I'm not. I mean, don't ask, don't tell worked for the military. You walk in, you do your business, you get out.
Yep.
I mean, that's worked a lot of places. I mean, I've had bank owners, or not bank owners, but bank clerks and stuff, store owners, stuff, and say, you just come in, you don't have it out in the open, you just walk in, do your business, you get out. So, but I mean, something goes down, guess what? Ooh, bad guy.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, and look at the post office. Now the post office is, aren't they like under scrutiny right now because they have no gun signs on their doors?
I don't think the one where I'm at does.
Well, I mean,
when I go in it because I do a lot of mailing, and I don't remember seeing one.
Now where I'm originally from, and a lot the post office never had one on there either. And as long as you didn't have it out in the open, which there was one guy that usually did, and he was just stupid, and he finally had to say something to that guy. But
right,
Well,
some people, in some places, I know we're kind of off on tangent here, but it all feeds in together. In some places, people will open carry, and in some places, people conceal carry. Now, if you're going to open carry for whatever the reason may be, whether you don't want to be fumbling with clothes to get to it, or you're too fat, or you just don't like wearing something tucked in somewhere, or whatever your reason, that's fine as long as you don't do it in some janky ass holster or got fucking leg rigging on you walking around in a damn Walmart like you're a fucking commando, okay?
Or a cowboy, with the low hanging 6-shooter rig, and
Hey, look, I saw an elderly guy one time pulling that off in a fast food place. Hats, he had a cowboy hat and everything. So I'll give him kudos. But at least he looked authentic. You see what I'm saying?
It's probably from Texas.
Well, maybe, but I'm saying my whole point being, if you're going to carry something open, look like you're responsible and be responsible.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
This isn't a movie set, and what you're carrying is a serious. There's a lot of things involved with carrying a firearm and using one. And you realize that.
There's a place. There is a place for it. I mean, I used to open carry all the time because, I mean, it was a common thing. Right. Matter of fact, there's a lady I'd known for years, and she saw me carrying, and she goes, "When did you start carrying?" "Oh, the last 6 years." "Oh, I never noticed that." So, I mean, people are dense out there. They won't notice it.
No, so they're stuck in whatever other plane of existence they're currently in, whether it's Twitter or Facebook or who or do they have my Hot Pockets on sale this evening?
Cranial rectal insertion.
Yeah, right. I had a guy I was working with the other day, actually. We started talking about going to the gun show. He said, "You go to the gun show?" I said, "Yeah." "Huh. And take you out for somebody that would be doing that." I says, I just don't think there should be guns out there. Okay.
Oh hell
And
no.
I can't discuss stuff like that, with whom I work with. But he was, this just tells you how dense people are. He was under the impression that, all the gun companies were somehow making guns that you couldn't lift a fingerprint off of. And that, yeah, that there's just, too many guns out there. And, I did get the chance to say, well, there are literally millions of people in the country that owns guns and probably at least 1 trillion rounds. So, if gun owners were, bad people, y'all would know about it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's
But
not-
yeah,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
that's right. I've talked to people like that, and I'm like, no, I just go for like because a lot of times they'll have like surplus or something, looking for something, for my grandpa's shadow box that's missing or something like that. It's like, oh, I don't like guns either, and they're like, oh, okay, people just, people are dense. I tell you.
I mean, it's hilarious because there's different levels of idiocy. Like you've got the ones that like Pac-Man just talked about, and then you've got the ones who you shouldn't be able to own that. That's that's a military weapon. Or you've got the one that holds too many rounds or too many bullets. There's so many different levels of idiocy. The liberal media has painted so many fucking misconceptions that it's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
You got to figure that they've done a great job.
They just feed into it. It's like, do none of you motherfuckers know how to do your own research? I mean, you can literally go on YouTube and watch Hoochie's dancing or whatever, but you can't take 5 seconds to go to somewhere like Kentucky Ballistics or something. I'm just throwing it out there and watch a video showing a different one weapon or another. That's all you got to do. And you become educated.
No, it's because deviancy is accepted and education is above some people.
Well, it depends on what education it is. I mean, if you're learning how to use a can opener, or learning gender. If you're doing gender studies,
right?
Gender studies is okay, but I mean, you don't need to learn how to properly use a firearm. That's dangerous. No guns at all.
Right. Speaking of butt babies, and I know this is getting off on the tangent here.
There we go.
But did you saw the guy that was taking it in the dump truck in the Senate chambers there? Got off with nothing, no charges.
Well, of course he didn't get any charges because they would have had to investigate way more fucking fuckery going on.
Yeah. Yet you can go pray inside of an abortion clinic, literally sing hymns and pray, and you can go to jail for 11 years. Yeah.
Like it says in the book, right will what is it?
Yeah.
Right will become wrong, and wrong will become right.
Yep.
That's you got murders that get less time than the people January 6th.
Yeah, this is true.
Yep.
This is very true. I mean, these are dangerous times we live in, by far. And I think we're just seeing the storm on the horizon. It hasn't even gotten here yet.
Oh man, can you what we were talking about earlier? Is can you imagine what's going to happen if there is, even inadvertently, shots fired down on the border between a state agency and a federal agency. How that is, I mean, it's like a tinderbox, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I don't think people understand how tenuous that is.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, think about this. I don't remember who it was that sent it. May have been you, Jay. Somebody posted a meme. You know, the Marines show up 4 hours later and there's empty shell casings and beer.
Oh yeah.
Shit's over with. Again, before I say anything further, let me step out here and say this is for entertainment purposes only. We are not encouraging anybody to engage in any fuckery, even though the government does it frequently, or to do anything that is illegal, immoral, or etc. This is for entertainment purposes only.
Absolutely. Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing this because it's bad.
So that being said, yeah, Sax, man, you bring up a good point. I mean, let's go through some. Let's walk through a what if. Okay. Let's say that tomorrow a bunch of MRAPs roll up from Homeland Security, Arkansas National Guard. No, excuse me, it would be Arkansas. It'd be New York National Guard, or let's say California. Somewhere that's a blue state sends soldiers. Now, they're going to have to touch down in a base in Texas, I would assume. Now, I may be wrong. I'm not a military guy. I'm working on assumptions here. So all you folks out there that have experience in the military, hats off to you. You can correct me if I'm misspeaking here. But let's say logistically, they've got to land in Texas. We all in agreement?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So they land in Texas. So now the Texas Guard, the governor, everybody knows these fuckers are on the ground. Okay. So they already know they're coming. So these jokers show up at Eagle Pass and say, we're here by federal mandate, XYZ. You're going to let us assume control, et cetera, et cetera. Texas Guard says, none. No bueno. So at this point, you have both sides, pushing out that chest, trying to see dick measure and see who's biggest. And let's say that the Fed uses an old, let's just say, we're not even going to say that. Let's just say that there's some bad players that are mistakenly look like someone else. And a shot's fired. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
That one bullet, everything unravels right then. We agree?
Yeah.
Because there's not going to be, you can't put that toothpaste back in the tube. So now you've got people are already high strung, and here we go. Shit's popping off. So whatever units are there from the federal government, they're either captured or defeated, spot right there on the ground because they're outnumbered. Okay? Because they're working on the assumption that we're the federal government and you're going to do what we say. So at this point, now you've got Washington trying to figure out how they're going to approach Texas, because now Texas is a rogue state. That's how they're going to spin it.
Oh, well, they would, I guarantee you they'd go after the governor.
Well, yeah, I mean, but they would call them a rogue state, correct?
Oh, yeah.
They would go after the governor, but at this point, the governor is, I mean,
The governor's the National Guards and the State Guard and the Highway Patrol. That's their commander in chief until they get federalized.
well, even if they get federalized, are they, let's say that the federal government at this point says, okay, we're federalizing XYZ. How many of those people do you think are going to swallow that pill? Let's just, I mean, for shits and giggles, how many Texans are out there doing their job? How many of them you think are going to swallow that federal pill?
That's a good question, man, because you remember not too long ago, with the whole federal government saying you have to take the jab or see you later. There's going to be that aspect of, okay, if that's the ultimatum, if it's, we turn on our own state, or we stick with it. So automatically they're criminals in the eyes of the federal government. And right now, Texas is still a state of this union. So, you can have a split-second decision. Yeah, I'm going to do this, or yeah, I'm not. There'd probably also there'd be a lot of soul searching going on.
True.
What's this going to do to my family? I can't feed my family, with whatever. Now, it's got to be something big.
Well, but
I'm gonna go back, and it's I'll give you a picture. Bundy Ranch.
Oh yeah.
People on horseback showing up down at that park down there.
Yep.
I'm picturing something like that.
Yeah, I think that's why you're not seeing any media. I think that's why they're letting this trucker convoy go and all this. I think they're going to let it they're hoping it'll fizzle out and people kind of forget about it, because let's face it, we as Americans have a very short attention span.
Who are you again?
Cycle.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it'll be just like, well, okay. Probably will be just like the Patriot movement back in the 90s. They did the same thing. You had a whole bunch of civilians going up there to the border and, physically telling these people, go back from where you came. You cannot cross here. But, that quickly got, taken down. Everybody was told to go home forcibly. Now, it would be nice if it doesn't stop, because, I was trying to figure out the numbers in the last 2 years of how many people have come across the border.
Isn't it 3 million?
Oh,
6 million people in the last 3 years.
Okay. I was nowhere close.
Yeah, I just saw it on the news just the other day. 6 million people.
so that's 6 million more people crowding your hospitals,
Schools.
schools.
Infrastructure, everything.
Yeah.
I mean,
Not paying federal income tax.
nope, not paying any
Yeah.
tax because they want. I mean,
Yeah.
By God, they'll send me to jail for it, though.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if I stop paying tax on my house, you can bet your ass I'll seize it. But yet, whoever happened to come across the border and get through, because the Border Patrol had to cut them a spot because they're afraid they might wash downstream and get, bit by a damn chihuahua or something.
Play stupid games.
That's what I'm saying. If if you're that desperate to get in the country, come through a port of entry.
Yeah, there's tons of them.
Legitimate issue, go through the port of entry, tell them what's wrong. Say we're fleeing, we're fearful for our lives, we're whatever. And that's how you do it. And
Well, because those people are coming across, there are other people mixed in with them.
exactly.
The only ones that they're catching are the ones that are coming across, because they're. What about the other bad actors that are coming across? You'll soon know who I am.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, that guy.
They should have
Yeah.
knocked some teeth out of him right there on the spot, cuffed him, and drug his ass to interrogation. I mean, as soon as he said that,
Yeah.
with that kind of bravado, just saying. If one of us was going in another country illegally, try doing that shit in a Middle Eastern country. Wander your ass into Saudi Arabia. You'll soon know who I am. That'll be the last they see your ass.
Wander into North Korea. See what happens.
China.
Your birth certificate will become a useless document.
Yeah. Exactly. It'd be like Confederate money.
Yeah.
You know. But yet we're going to sit here. I mean, and from all understanding, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong, when
You're wrong.
Okay, that's cool. When the Supreme Court ruled that they had to let them come in and cut the razor wire, it was for safety measures.
Safety.
Okay,
Yes.
Wait a minute. Let me understand this. So, using that fucking logic,
Whose safety are they looking for?
well,
What the hell?
hear me out. Using that fucking logic, if I want to go play in the road in the middle of the interstate and play with Hot Wheels, that means they got to stop traffic for me, right? Because it's a safety issue.
Yeah.
I mean, using that logic,
It was it's 100% right. So it was, you can't have razor wire out there because it detracts from the DPS and not DPS, from agents going out there and helping water rescues and stuff like that, which is bullshit. They did the same thing with the boys that were out there in the middle of the water that had wire on them. You know what? Razor wire will 100% not ever cut you if you don't go across it.
Yeah.
So
There we go. Yeah.
Yep. If you go through it or over it, you're going to leave something behind when you do.
Hey, landmines. Landmines, same thing. Just don't step on it. You'll be all right. And you won't leave anything behind if you.
That's right. Just a red mist.
My thinking is that, if they don't want nobody down there on the border and this, that, and other, like you said, mine it, or either dig a secondary trench, fill it full of fucking piranha, gators. I mean, there's a plethora of shit you put.
Drag queens. Fill it full of drag queens.
They can, hey, you know what? They can sit there and read story time to them as they're trying to cross.
This is true. In Spanish, Chinese, Uzbekistani.
I think that'd be great. Get a bunch of cross-dressers up there and tenants on the wall, or just give them a nice little furry chair to sit in with a shade so they don't get sunburned.
You're right.
And they can sit there and just read, shit to them. I think that'd be good.
But and I guess this, kind of wraps around the whole thing, is that you cannot tell me that this is not a manufactured crisis if you have that many people coming over, you don't care, and you're just willy-nilly letting them out into the populace. There is a bigger end game to what's happening down there.
It's a high level of fuckery.
It starts with a T, and I'm not going to say it because I don't want us to get starts with a T, ends with an N.
Turn?
Yes, turn.
Okay.
You roll with that. That's safe.
Oh, we got to come up with new acronyms. But yeah, you're absolutely right. I think because let's face it, the dipshit in charge right now, he's not in charge. He's a figurehead puppet at best. And that's when he's had his shock therapy and he ain't shit in the bed. Which is not very often. So you already know his strings being pulled. I mean, no president in our history has allowed our country to get this fucked up. I mean, you can hate Obama and that's fine. I couldn't stand him myself, but even he didn't fuck up the country this bad.
Oh, yeah.
He fucked up. Don't get me wrong. He definitely drove some nails in it. But
yeah,
this fucktard that's in the White House right now has done more to hurt this country in 3 years than anybody has in 60. in my opinion. But,
Oh yeah, that dude's worse than Carter.
yeah,
Carter's handing that trophy over to him, saying, "Thank you."
Thank you.
Congratulations.
well, you know, in my opinion, I think what's happened here with the whole Texas situation, and you know, you guys chime in if you agree or disagree. I think the Fed truly thought that they could just say, well, we're going to sue you. The court says you have to do X, Y, Z, and they figured Texas would cave. Well, Texas hasn't, and they've strengthened their position. And because of whatever they filed, I don't remember the exact statutes. Y'all probably do. But legally, it allows the other states to send them support. And I think when that happened and it's become so widespread, that's why you suddenly see the media kind of drop this whole thing, because they're saying, oh, they shit the bed on this. We better not cover it anymore. And I think we're all in agreement that, like you said earlier, if the Fed can't figure out a way to get a win, they're going to want this to go away. And I think at both sides, if Abbott backs down, it fucks Texas. And I think if the Fed backs down, it fucks. You see what I'm saying? Both of them they're both backed into a corner.
Oh yeah. And you really got to watch. Yeah.
In my opinion, Texas is.
Well, again, back at Bundy Ranch, who backed down?
The Fed did.
Feds did.
Yeah.
Yeah. They had guns pointed back at them.
Yeah. Yeah, and they still went after those people, you know. Yeah. They investigated that one.
I remember seeing that on TV, and I remember seeing a bunch of ranchers and neighbors up there on that one bridge. And I always remember this one dude, he had a High Point carbine. And he was ducking around up on that bridge looking down. I don't know where exactly it was in it, but I always remember that guy with that High Point, and I said, hey, at least he's there, you know? He showed up.
Yeah. Yeah. It still goes boom.
I know, it's just that for whatever reason, that stuck in my head, all things. That dude got the little High Point, and he's, you know, but I think we're going to see this next few weeks. It's going to be interesting because the Fed, if they don't do anything, it's going to burn them. And if Texas backs down, it's going to burn them. So at some point, there's going to have to be there's going to have to be a give and take one way or another. I don't think it can go this way indefinitely.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, you know, as much talk about all this is going on, though, you really got to watch what's fixing to happen with this immigration bill that's coming across. The whole thing is, okay, we won't let more than 5,000 people a day slip over into the border, you know, across the border.
What the
okay,
fuck?
So it's illegal already, but you're gonna let 4,999 of them go. And if anything over 5,000 happens, then oh crap, we got to lock her down.
Yeah. It should be locked down like the Israeli border or the Korean border or something. It should be locked down like that.
Yeah.
They need to do it like Berlin did it back in the day. Hey, just saying.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm looking for something, you know, hypothetically saying, you know, something does go down. Who's going to start it and who's going to be in what uniform to actually start said conflict? And
we have the answer, but we're not.
Yeah, but you know, but who? You're going to have to see who the media is pointing at first, because you know it's going to be the other side at that point.
Oh yeah, and it'll be one of them deals where it'll happen, but then all of a sudden it's a blackout. You won't know what's going on, and then either the affiliates there, like the different little local news channels, will report it and it'll get out that way, or the cable news networks come out and say, oh, everything was federalized, it was stopped, this, that, and the other. It's going to be one or the other. If it's federalized and stopped, you know what happened. Fed went in there, jackbooted everything. If it's the other way around, the Fed got resistance, got their ass handed to them.
Well, it gets me thinking though. Maybe that new movie is kind of predictive programming.
Well, they do that shit all the time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not trying to be a tinfoil hat guy here, but think about, all the alien shit you've seen over the years. Think about all the damn different kinds of stealth technology, different kinds of technology in different science fiction flicks, from communicators, different kinds of weapons. I mean, think of it, all these natural catastrophes you keep seeing that get worse and worse and worse.
Oh yeah.
I'm just saying.
Go ahead, I'm sorry. Yeah. Oh yeah. But it's interesting how people think that that can't happen. But then again, you got to look at it's only been what 20, 25 years since 30 years since Ireland had its little go around. That's a first world country. It's not unheard of that this could happen again.
Exactly.
The biggest part, the worst part, is that unfortunately you're going to have some outside influences definitely trying to grab hold.
And I'm reading about that right now. The Guerrilla Days in Ireland by Tom Berry. It's a good book. Just saying.
Yeah, true. I mean, and J&J makes a point too. They're all about distractions, or you think it's a distraction, but it actually isn't a distraction.
Yeah.
It's all smoke and mirrors at this point because the government looks at all of us as a bunch of damn sheeple, and it's partly our fault because we've allowed it.
I mean, that is a pretty good distraction, since what's his nuts up there is basically starting another war in Yemen. So.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Exactly. So, the whole situation is just a powder keg. And what people need to realize, I mean, think a couple of ramifications here if this happens. And I've said some of this before. If there's a national divorce, let's say something pops off in Texas. Okay, you immediately have at least one state that's now a rogue state from the rest of the United States. Okay. And let's say, for whatever reason, let's say that a bunch of states go in with them, all right? All your investments are fucked. All your banking is fucked. All your savings is fucked, okay? All that's out the window. Because, let's face it, everybody, when you invest money, like if you're in stocks or whatever, all that money is tied to the stock exchange in New York City, all right? So when when this country, if it was to split like that and over hostility, I'm not saying a clean split, I'm saying if there's a hostile action, all that's out the window. So everybody is paying into retirement or 401ks or whatever, unless your shit's tied up overseas and handled by a brokerage in the half that you happen to be in, you may lose everything. And you need to understand that. Now, I'm not trying to badmouth one way or the other. I'm just putting some harsh realities out there. Because FDIC is going to be out the window. Because if you're in a region of the country that's saying, FDIC don't apply to you, buddy. Am I incorrect there?
No, I mean you would have the economics of it would be horrible for a while.
They would. I mean, now, eventually, let's say that you eventually both sides learn to coexist. They would adjust accordingly, but you've got to make it to that point.
True.
And you don't know how long.
Oh
that's
yeah.
gonna be.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
How do you prepare for something like that? It's not like Civil War where you have farming and shit because you don't have people are not self-sustaining anymore. They're stacked like fucking rats in these urban centers. The shit's going to implode.
Yeah.
It don't matter where you're at. If something breaks out, all your major cities are fucked because your supplies are going to be cut.
In a perfect world, what you would do is offer we're given a 1 week amnesty period for anybody that doesn't want to be here. Go get across the border now.
Yeah. That could happen still if something was to pop off.
Right.
And I guarantee you, Austin would empty out. A lot of Dallas, Fort Worth would empty out. A lot of Houston. So it's a win-win.
Well, but my thing is, while you got people emptying out, you've got people coming to. Let's say you got a bunch of people in blue states want to come to the red states.
Oh yeah,
we're going to support them. So you're going to have the same problem you got now with people coming across the border. You can have bad players mixed in with those people coming from the northern states, the western states, wherever the hell they're coming from. I mean, you're going to have to deal with that.
True.
And it'll be different.
Oh yeah, it would be like nothing that we've ever seen.
Exactly.
You're right. It's not like like you're saying Civil War. It's not like the 1860s where you can at least go scavenge something and not get killed for it.
It's going to be a whole new game.
Yeah,
it'll be a whole new game.
Understand that.
A whole new game. You have to learn the rules real fast because
the rules are gonna be like this.
Yeah.
Another thing I wanted to touch on too, and I think all of you've seen it too. Everybody saw where Russia made their statement, right? Last night or yesterday.
Yeah.
I think part of it, and I think we've all agreed, is kind of thumbing their nose about the Ukraine situation. Because here we have a similar situation brewing in the United States, different dynamics, but fundamentally similar. And they threw in their support to Texas. So, there's a lot to think about, and not that I'm saying that we should, Texas should throw in support, say, yeah, come on, bring it. We need all the logistics we can get or all the logistical help. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that think of the ramifications if Texas, say things would pop off and Texas accepted aid from Russia. Think of the far-reaching things that would cause. And Russia,
that would be. Oh yeah. Yeah, that would be a real interesting news story. And how they're going to swing that. I mean, there's going to be a lot of speechless people.
Well, think about it this way too, though. Just what he was saying, and what I sent you earlier today was ever since the fall of the Soviet Union, the the ex-Soviets have been saying, okay, we're Russia. Here we are. We're letting you basically reunify, Berlin. You can have Germany's yours. It's all yours. Just don't come any further east. Everybody's gonna be cool, but just don't come any further east. And what have NATO countries done?
Mm-hmm.
They kept on going, and they kept on going, and they kept on going, even after the Soviets were done.
Yeah.
So, not necessarily taken up for them, but kind of taken up for them in the fact that, we're down on our knees right now, and you're still coming after us. As a sovereign country, that could, that's like warlike intentions.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that I would be so opposed to having, aid from. There are some countries out there that would love to give aid to a rogue state inside of the United States. Now, whether or not you're going to take it, and whether or not they're ideologically similar to you, that's two totally different things.
Yeah, you'd have to, the people in said state would have to be of like mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing about Texas, it's unique too because of its history and because of its location. The geography benefits it. I mean, think about it. If they were to take Hill, they've got ports, you got seaports, and they can get everything through Mexico if they have to by land.
Yeah.
I mean, so it can be done. Now, again, I'm not trying to encourage anything. This is for entertainment purposes only and an open discussion. That's all this is.
Oh, yeah. And Vanguard's making good points there, too. But think about it this way, too. Once it's inside your border, are you going to let somebody from another country come in and dismantle your refinery? I think fucking not.
Well, but isn't the grid controlled by central places in different parts of the country? So if you shut access from that grid, couldn't they effectively shut down power in regions of the country from that grid? I mean, I don't know. I'm.
So, yeah, Texas kind of screwed up a while back, a couple of winters ago. I don't know if y'all remember that. They had just disconnected from a larger one, went to a different one. That one failed during a big winter storm. That goes kind of along with your currency stuff. And Vanguard's right. Most power plants,
don't power that state that they're in. Yeah.
Yeah. But then again, there would have to be a curve there, kind of like a currency curve. There's a lot of, it's a complicated mess.
It is, and it would not be an easy transition in any way, shape, or form.
I mean, Europe is figuring that out as after Brexit, and they're figuring that out after this whole Ukrainian thing, is because Russia supplied a lot of energy to a lot of countries, and all they have to do is say no.
Yep.
And they're fucked. Germany at the beginning of this thing, they were stockpiling wood, man, like nobody's business.
Mm-hmm.
So
you're right. So
yeah, there's lots of there's pros and cons to it, and again, it wouldn't be like anything we've ever seen as Americans that are kind of cushified. We don't have to go out and shoot squirrels and rats for our supper yet.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
We'll be back in a second, guys.
Don't threaten me.
Don't threaten you a good time, right?
That's it.
All right, I'll be right back.
All right. Yeah.
Just hanging out.
It's just us now. We got this boat now. Sink or swim.
It is sink or swim. Damn it.
So, yeah, the whole thing with this border, we've it's been coming to a head for a long time. We've absolutely, positively needed to do something long ago, but it's been like one of those subjects of, oh, we'll get to it, or the next administration, or whatever. We've run into this, and it's now we're having serious problems, and it's just going to get worse before it gets worse.
Yeah, I agree.
We've really got a hard line to hold here. I mean, how do you get rid of 6 million people that are here now?
Eisenhower did it.
Well, I mean, yeah, we had the Trail of Tears too. I mean, but there's a lot of liberal people now. That would be, we might as well just lump all them crying liberals right in with the line too, and march them right across the border.
Well, I mean, that's how it works, living in a stucco and mule shit shack with their Prius parked next to it.
Yeah, with the extension cord out the window, charging their electric car too.
Mm-hmm.
Just run on gummies. But yeah,
their gas powered generator charging up their electric car.
Right.
Yep. That's it. Absolutely.
All I'm saying is you could do it if you had a politician that had the balls to do it. And you had the national mindset to do it as well.
If you had the politicians that have the balls to do it, I mean, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory was a nice documentary of a true story too. I mean, shit in one hand, piss in the other. See what you get.
Absolutely.
There you go. I agree. Well, I mean, I personally would love to see this resolved peacefully, but not with new legislation making a back door for all this bullshit. Enforce the law that's on the books. That's why it's there. If you're not going to protect the sovereignty of the states on the southern border, then you're treasonous in your actions. That's what your job is. It's plain and simple. And back years ago, back in the day, they'd remove a president for shit like that.
I mean, politicians got tarred and feathered too, but
this is true. But I'm saying this kind of fuckery would have never happened with our forefathers.
Oh yeah. They wrote
the Constitution the way they did because they foresaw fuckery on the horizon.
No, and I guarantee you, if this had been happening, during the Mexican-American War, it's the same thing. We would have just went and occupied Mexico City again and said, stop. You really need to stop, or bad shit's going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, we're seeing so many things being set up to just create utter chaos. I still say I don't think the Fed expected this to blow up the way it did.
No, they fully intended Abbott to say, okay.
Yeah, they expected to cut tail and say, well, you're the Fed. You told me I gotta go home. But I also think that the federal government will be looking for a way to sidestep this controversy.
Oh, absolutely.
Bypass it, override it. I mean, just being honest, because I don't trust shit. You know,
Yeah.
you know. That's just my thoughts. And we used to believe in our country and our government. That's the thing. You
Yeah.
know,
And like T and I have talked about, you know, things were better than what they were now. You know, you spent money on, you know, family and going on trips and vacations and stuff, and you it was different than now. Now we're like building chicken coops and chicken runs and, you know, getting eggs and planting a garden because things are going to get bad and you still need to eat, and you know, you're building root cellars or something, you know, because nobody wants to do this shit. They want to go to kids' football games or basketball games. Nobody wants to do this. But you know, what is it? Yeah, self-preservation kind of takes over.
yeah, because there's not. It's going to be self-rescue, folks. This isn't going to
Oh, yeah.
be.
Oh yeah. Ain't nobody going to be out there to help you.
No, if shit goes sideways, and I truly believe um, it's going to this. We're going to see shit pop off this year that we never thought was and would happen in our wildest dreams, and it's not going to be pleasant. And I just think so many people are fucking asleep at the wheel.
Yeah,
No clue.
absolutely asleep at the wheel, and they just wish for better day. Oh, it'll be better after Trump gets back. Yeah. Okay. Well, if
Yeah,
if
that's the operative word.
yeah.
You know. All right. Well, let's try and wrap it up. I guess Vanguard's trying to juggle 50 different things right now, so I don't want to keep him tied up any longer than necessary. Jay, give us some parting words of wisdom, my friend.
As always, Carrie always don't trust your government. Wait, that's Saxman's line there. It's,
Damn it.
so yeah, just Carrie always, you know, watch over your family. Just do what you can to put back because it's going to get worse before it gets worse. It really is. You know, get some training now because, like you all have seen, they're trying to get rid of paramilitary training. You know, retards. I mean, and it might pass this time. You know, they've done it what 3 other times.
Yeah.
It may work. So, um, seriously, people, pull your heads from your butts and try and. I'm not saying everybody on here. I mean, there's people out there that literally have their head in their butt. You know, you really got to do something to help yourself out. So, next.
Sex man.
Carrie always. Hold on, I'm trying to. Don't trust your government. Let's see. Man, you really did a good job, Jay.
Oh,
Really, keep your eyes and ears open to what's going on around you. Nationally and locally, especially locally. Just be one of those people that's able to, actually protect your family and friends if the need arises. And that's what I got, man.
All right, brother. Both of you covered everything tonight, just about. I'm going to say two things. One, pray for Texas, and two, pray for this country.
amen.
Beyond that, pay attention to what's going on locally, nationally, and worldwide because there's a lot of things going on. Like I've said, self-rescue, folks. Wake up. That being said, I appreciate all being here, and thank you for the support, Vanguard. He appreciates it. We all appreciate it, and we're going to try and be here spreading the truth as long as we can. So,
That's right.
like I said, y'all have a good evening. Stay safe out there.
Vanguard's hung like a grain of rice.
Oh my Lord, here we go.
Cubes.
Good night.